In ancient China, there once lived a Zen master known for his unusual teachings and riddles. He had a way of making the simplest questions seem like the hardest puzzles. Today, we'll hear one of his most famous lessons, one that left his students puzzled but taught them a truth beyond words. Sozin, the wise Zen master, often sat in his quiet garden. Surrounded by the gentle rustle of cherry blossoms, he would meditate for hours. His students respected him greatly, knowing that every word he spoke carried a deeper meaning. One day, a young student, filled with curiosity, approached the master. He had been pondering a question and felt certain that Sozin would have the answer. He bowed deeply and asked, "Master, what is the most valuable thing in the world?" Sozin slowly opened his eyes and looked at the student with a calm smile. "The most valuable thing in the world?" he repeated thoughtfully. Then, with a serene expression, he said, "It is the head of a dead cat." The student's smile faded, replaced by a look of complete confusion. The head of a dead cat? He thought. How could that be valuable? Gathering his courage, the student asked, "But master, why is the head of a dead cat the most valuable thing in the world?" Sozin's smile widened. He looked into the student's eyes and said, "Because no one can name its price." The student was left speechless. He expected a profound answer, but what he received was a riddle that made no sense, at least not at first. The young student sat down, his mind racing. At first, he thought the master's answer was nonsense. But as he reflected, he began to understand. It wasn't about the object itself, it was about the value we place on things. The head of a dead cat has no obvious worth, yet it's beyond pricing because it has no demand. It was a lesson in understanding the illusion of value, and how we often overlook what's truly priceless. The student looked up at his master, who was still smiling, as if he knew exactly when the realization would come. The lesson wasn't about the dead cat's head, it was about teaching the student to look beyond surface value, to question what we consider priceless. Sozin stood up, dusted off his robes, and walked away, leaving the student alone with his thoughts. The young man smiled, knowing that he had just received one of the most valuable lessons of his life. The answer was never meant to be taken literally. It was a riddle that opened the door to a deeper understanding. Sometimes, the most valuable lessons aren't the ones we understand right away. They're the ones that make us think, challenge our perceptions, and stay with us long after the words are spoken. So, what do you consider priceless in your life? Perhaps it's something you haven't even noticed yet.